it's me. Just wanted to let you know that you can just ignore the bat signal tonight. Oh, jeez, I see you're all dressed up. Well, Green Lantern and I took care of it. You know, just a bank robbery. Really, nothing big. You didn't miss anything. You know, I know it takes you a good amount of time to suit up and slap on the old bat belt or whatever. So again, I apologize. And well, yeah. Well, anyways, Cave looks great. Give Alfred my best, and maybe next time.
It's called a utility bill, you prick.
So I'll introduce you. We're speaking with Larry, and it's Longstreth.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And usually I don't get an easy name, so that's cool. And you, now did your brother's Aaron, did you write all these fan films with him? Or is he just kind of in the background?
I think I wrote everything myself except for Batman's gonna get shot in the face, which is our buddy Clint.
Okay.
Aaron's more technically sound, whereas I study the creative aspect and stuff like that. Aaron's schooled himself. He went to school down in the Carolinas to learn the technical aspect of things.
So is he behind the scenes in a lot of your films then, or all your films?
You'll see him in front of the camera. He voiced the Flash in Batman's gonna get shot in the face, who most people always remember. I don't know if you remember that.
Yep.
I got this guy, Hawkman. He can't do much, but he can do everything Batman can do, minus the mystery, the darkness, all that fucking bullshit. Plus, the guy can fly. I'm talking to Wonder Woman. I'm trying to get her a little more convinced. Maybe she can pull some strings with Superman. Give this fucking freak the boot. Bring in the fucking Hawk dude.
Yeah, that's Aaron. Everyone loves that guy. He voices a lot of stuff. Flash, Hawk. I mean, he's in everything we've ever done live action. He's always there.
And then, like you said, Jacob's the animator, Mr. Jacob Drake.
Yeah, which is rough because, I mean, it's all in his lap.
Yeah.
You know? He's got, he's logged in 1,200 hours on the greatest fan film of all time right now.
Wow.
Of animation. It's insane. You know, we want an animation team, but with what we do, it's rough. Like, now we're getting offered all these paid gigs, but, you know, up till now, it's always been, people just dropping off. They say they want to help because they enjoy seeing it, and then they get, a week into it, and they go, man, this is a lot of work.
Yeah, you actually have to do something.
They always, they always run away. And it always just ends up being, a little core group again.
Yeah, that's pretty much always the case. I mean, people want that instant gratification. They want a finished product, but they don't want to work to get it.
Mm-hmm. So, it's so easy to see it in your mind, while you're working or in school or whatever, and go, that's exciting, and then I'm going to do that when I get home. Yeah, right. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. So
but, I can't complain. I mean, I'm happy with the way it works. We've got a solid team, so we're lucky to have that.
Well, probably smaller's better, not as many chefs in the kitchen. Why don't you give a little background on yourself and build us up to getting... It's Bullcrank, right? Bullcrank.com?
Yeah, but that's gone now.
Yeah, that's dead.
Well, I'll say this. I've gotten in trouble in past interviews for being too honest regarding airing out the group's laundry, so what I'll do is I'll just say that...
We like dirty laundry. The dirtiest...
So hard to juggle, friends. It started off as a close group of friends doing this, and that's great, but it's getting to a point where, like I said, we are being offered bigger things, and it's hard to keep that together because it's hard to make a group of friends. A lot of them only had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They helped when they could.
Right.
Some of us go 100%, and as things start happening, you start kind of going, you kind of work your way up a little bit, and then you're still, it's like it's hard to be in charge of a group made up of your friends because you don't feel right telling them what to do. They sure as hell don't want to listen to you tell them what to do, but at the same time, that system has to work that way or you're screwed. And, it's been uncomfortable all around. So we're kind of, reaching we're not breaking up. We're just making it so, we're saying, this is the way it's got to be. Those of us who want it bad enough will make it. Those who don't won't. But, guys, we stay friends no matter what. We've got to separate the two because it's just destroying both. It's been rough all around. I mean,
and you're a business
sounds more
now.
dramatic than it is. But what's that?
I said you're a business now. If people are obviously starting to shoot you some cash, you're no longer a bunch of crazy guys getting together and gals getting together just doing something fun. You're a business now.
Yeah, but you want to keep it that you want to keep it a bunch of guys having fun, but it can't be 15 chiefs everybody out. The thing is, when we started, it was everybody's ideas, and I was okay doing the brunt of the work because it was, it was what I wanted to do, is my dream. So I would hear everybody's point of view, take what I liked, shoot down what I didn't, and put it together. But now it's kind of becoming too structured and organized to have, the guy holding the boom pole telling you how you should light it. It's insane. It's terrible because it's your friends and you don't want to ruin friendships, but it just can't last that way.
Right. Did it all start like in high school? How did it build up?
I had tried many times in high school to try and get something rolling, but like I said, I could get 20 or 30 people all riled up, especially the drama geeks, the kids in drama class. They'd all be fired up to do a movie. I always wanted to make a movie, but man, as soon as that meant actually us rallying and doing some work when school was out, during everybody's free time, there wasn't a chance, man. The fire's gone as soon as it, like I said, they realized, oh wait, we actually have to work and put time into this.
Yeah.
But after high school, I started becoming a little better at maybe motivating the troops. When
did you start Bull Crank? Was it in high school?
No. That was a website that came a few years after we started doing what we did, actually. We started making movies and shorts and sketches and all kinds of stuff right after high school, and eventually we made our Nintendo cartoon, which just blew up. I mean, it was like it had like millions of views, and we started going, man, we're gonna have to do something with this because we'd caught on to what people wanted to see. Like we knew. We started to develop an idea of what people wanted us to do and what we were good at and what we wanted to do, and we knew we had to put maybe give it a website or give it some kind of focus or name, and we tried. Never really worked out the way we wanted it to. I mean, as far as trying to give it a focal point, does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely. That was the Nintendo old school revolution you're talking about, too.
That's correct, yeah.
You can find that on YouTube, just so people know what
find it everywhere, yeah.
we're talking about.
I was a half of the most recognizable family in the business. Back when that meant something. Our enemies knocked us from the top of the mountain and never looked back. We had come to terms with the fact that our time had passed. But then they did something nobody expected. They made things personal. They killed my brother.
Yeah, I mean, I sound like, it's all been hell. It hasn't. It's just, it's been rough because, that we started off, with so many people watching what we were doing. We didn't know anything technically, or we didn't know, how a crew worked or how the equipment worked or anything like that. And we were still getting all the views, so we were trying to up our game to match that level of, I guess, fan base or whatever you want to call it. We want to be worthy of that and not feel like we're just one in a million, so... We're trying. We're struggling. We're trying to up our game all around, and it seems to be working out so far because, like I said, we're getting offers on a lot of new stuff.
Well, that's how you learn. I mean, you do, obviously. It sounds simplistic, but it's the truth.
Yeah, and it's a lot harder to do than
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So easy to say, it's so hard to do, man.
How'd you hook up with? Well, I was going to ask you how you hooked up with Aaron, but that's pretty obvious. He's your brother. How'd you hook up with Jake?
I've actually been asked that same question before on a podcast.
Oh, really?
I think the guy was half joking, but he's like, "Well, we don't need to get into how you two became brothers." Or whatever. Yeah.
The logistics of it, I think we all know pretty much, but the whole birds and the bees aspect. You're not twin brothers, right?
No, people think we're twins, but we're not. I mean, sometimes they do. I'm 4 years older. There's actually a brother between us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everyone thinks we're twins. I don't know why.
How old? Can I ask you how old the guy you are? I always like to compare how old I'm.
I'm 26, and I believe he's 22. Let me think. Yeah, I think he's 22.
Okay.
He's 23.
The reason I ask you is just because of the pulp culture references you have in your films and such. So I just kind of want to see where you grew up compared to where I grew up and where that pulp culture comes into. I'm curious about it. That's why I asked.
No, it is interesting. I watch. Sometimes I try to make references to things that maybe somebody my age wouldn't know. I always say, like, I could talk about the old guys at my work or about, I'm not pop cult, not fanboy stuff, but like Bonanza or old stuff. And I'm always like, man, I could make references to that, but people our age would not pick it up, man. I know a little bit more than the average guy does about some older stuff, just because I've tried to educate myself in the old ways, but it does not fit into what we're doing. Too many blank stares.
Yeah.
As far.
What's how'd you get how'd you hook up with Jacob?
That's kind of funny because that's when I first started getting the idea to do the Nintendo cartoon, Nintendo Old School Revolution, and I actually, it sounds stupid now. I would never do this now, and it was only 4 years ago. I think I actually went on MySpace and looked up. I just searched for all animators in the Ohio area, and I sent them each a long message and some clips of what we'd done. And I got a few hits back. One was a girl who I ended up becoming friends with, and the other was Jake, and he put together a small demo while I believe I was in L.A. at the time, and we saw it, and we're like, yep, this is the dude. Not because it was mind-blowing, but because we could tell he was going to finish it.
Yeah. And you guys are out of, is it Ohio, right? Cleveland?
Yes, sir. Ohio,
Okay.
right north of Akron. We're in a town called Stowe.
Okay.
Well, actually, Aaron's in North Carolina now. Or in South Carolina. He lives in Charlotte.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he just went home literally like 2 days ago.
So while we're being snowed on, he's enjoying the sunshine.
Yeah, you know what? This is where we grew up, and now he comes up and he hates it. He's miserable when he gets up here.
No, but I'm in New York, and I'm miserable every winter, so I understand that.
That's cool. We filmed in New York, actually, for our new Werewolf short.
New York City or state someplace?
Right in the city, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, right in the, I don't know if I get in trouble, but right in the New York Film Commissioner's house, because she's married to Lloyd Kaufman. I don't know if you know who that is.
No, I do not. Who is that?
He's the, Troma?
What is that?
Troma Studios. They made, like, the Toxic Avenger, all these, like...
Oh, yeah. Actually, I saw, that one of the character appears in your new film. Right.
Yeah, right. He's in it. So we filmed at his house in New York City, and he's a pretty big guy, and his wife's the film commissioner. So it's pretty cool. We're in, like, this... you go to New York and all the places are these little... when you're in the city, all the apartments are really small, and this was actually, like, this 4-story decked out. I mean, it was amazing. It was crazy.
So she must have all the money. He didn't make all that money doing the Toxic Avenger, did he? You don't have you're not privy to all that information.
It's none of my business,
right?
I know, we were thinking that, me and the guys.
I was just kidding.
It's possible. But yeah, we filmed there and mostly in Ohio, but we filmed a little bit in New York City, so it was cool. We try to travel when we do our live action stuff.
Yeah.
Just to get it in there,
Now, you being hired out for animation and live action, both? Or just animation?
I've had some offers, one in particular, to do to write an animated TV series.
Nice, sweet.
Would be, I don't know if I should say names, I don't know if I'm allowed to, but there's some big names backing it and pitching it. That would be pitched to Adult Swim. They wanted something in the style of The Greatest Fan Film, but with original characters, and I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. I'll talk to them after the premiere.
Okay.
We're kind of on hold right now. And I'm also writing a feature script for actually a big producer named Mark Ordesky, who he executive produced Lord of the Rings, Golden Compass, stuff like that.
Oh, those little films. Yep.
Yeah, just some little things you might have. No, I mean, it's very flattering. I mean, I know realistically how it works out, but we talk quite a bit, and he's taught me. That's one thing that's made things harder with our group is that some of the, Aaron, my brother's getting this schooling, and he's doing his own corporate work, or not, I don't want to say corporate work, but commercial work, like learning, how to be professional. And I'm kind of getting schooled on how, formats and stories and stuff like that work, and then we come back to our old way of doing things, and it's so hard to translate that to our group now with our friends who just kind of want to all, hang out and goof around.
Yeah.
It's no fault of theirs, you know what I mean? It's not their fault. It's just that it's becoming very stressful for all of us because we can kind of see this light at the end of the tunnel, but, we always thought we'd get there as a group, and I don't know. It sounds very emo, but...
No, you're at a point where you want the same mindset, and this is something you want to do, as a long-term career, and your other friends probably just have other jobs and just want to get together and goof around on the weekend or something.
Yeah, well, they want to have a fun time and work on the movies. I mean, I'm sure they'd love to work on movies forever if they could, but they don't love it enough to put everything aside and jump in, you know what I mean?
Right.
Which is what, some of us, I'd say 3 or 4 of us have just given everything we have. I mean, everything.
Plus, the money's probably not there right away, and that it's... You've got to work towards that. And that's, like you said, the lights at the end there, that's what you're working towards.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not being cocky, but we can see it now. You know what I mean? We can see the money being there. And it's like, okay, we're proud. We know we've worked to that. Now there are offers, cool offers, for a lot of different stuff. It's like, but I'm still kind of choosing my, taking each step carefully. It's like getting there might not be all I thought it was if, I look around and everybody's gone. If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Right. Your old play friends.
This is probably one dramatic fanboy interview. But That's just what's going on right now. I mean, with the premiere, it's crazy because we want to. You know, I never wanted to be, and I love fan films and stuff, but I just never wanted to be that fan film guy. Does that make sense? Like I knew, as much as I love the characters that we're doing and stuff like that, I knew we could make our own. Like, that's where the great stuff comes from. It's not like, I mean, it all came from somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, this is definitely our last one, and to me, it's all about us moving forward, man, and just taking it up a notch and always trying to, you know, surprise ourselves with each thing we do. And, like, I love fan films, I mean, but I know we can do more. I know we can, you know, really expand.
The most people I talk to, it's an ends to a means, like yourself. They'll do it. They get exposure, like someone like me, someone like Fanboy Will, and then you know, down the line, okay, Larry Longstreth. Okay, he doesn't do the fan film anymore, but he's doing this film, so we want to see what you're doing. So it's a good way to start a fan base. A smart way.
Yeah, it's true. One thing I'll definitely say for it too is that it actually, I mean, if you do it well, and I sound arrogant, but I know we what we're doing, and we're doing it well. It does attract the attention of people who matter if you do it well. You know what I mean? Like the Lord of the Rings guy, it kills him, man. He thinks it's like the funniest stuff in the world. So he sees what we could do by saying that. You know, I mean, it's great, and you know, you could do the greatest little cartoon in the world, and nobody would see it. But if you do it and it says, "Oh, Batman" on it. Now everybody's going to watch it, and, you know, it might not be any better than it was before it had Batman on it, but it's a good lure.
Yep, so that's when people say, well, why are you making this film on existing properties? Why don't you do your own thing, and you read it in the boards, or I read it in the boards and such, and now I know why, exactly what you just explained, because that's how you get your following, that's how you start your niche. Right,
because everybody, you know, what's funny is everybody says, oh, now everybody can make movies nowadays with technology. Well, that's true, but that also means that there's so much more to compete with, you know.
It's so much more. That sucks.
I'm sure 30 years ago, you know, when a kid in the neighborhood was making films, everyone knew he was making films. Now, you know, you're doing it, your neighbor's doing it, everyone's doing it. It's like, it's crazy. There's so many internet videos. There's so much everything out there that to get noticed, it's just crazy.
And there's just so much more crap to sift through, too.
What's that?
I said there's so much more crap to sift through, too.
That's what I'm saying. So you really have to do something that it kind of screams and, you know, demands attention, or else you're not going to get it at all.
Right, exactly. I agree. Hear, hear.
What's that?
I said I agree. Hear, hear. Hear, hear, sir. You're kind of a laid-back dude as far as, maybe because we don't know each other. I imagine if I went out with a
person too, man.
Huh?
They're just they're super serious, you know, ambitious, and then there's goofing around.
Yeah.
And that's about it. That's about as deep as I go. Oh, yeah.
You seem very laid back, but you're probably a troublemaker.
Yeah. Clean troublemaker. Try to be. Yeah, it's definitely weird because, you know, my friends know me as either the most dramatic, like, super driven guy in the world, or just, like, the guy who just won't stop, you know, smack them in the face.
Right.
And they look the other way. I definitely go back and forth.
Do you find yourself funnier on paper, or you kind of a goofball? You know, face to face.
No, I hate it on paper, man. Yeah. I hate trying to write funny stuff. I hate it. That's one thing, like, because I don't think you can. I don't think it's possible. Not with what we do, because a guy could read. I could write a lot of what we're filming right now. We're filming these little funny sketches that go between the films that are going to play at the premiere.
Okay.
On paper, nobody would laugh, but I know how we're going to interpret it. And I know each crew member's little flavor they add to each thing, and I know how it'll turn out when it's live. So I could show that to a studio guy, and he'd go, "No, this isn't funny at all." Or I could show him the finished film version, and he would crack up. You know what I mean?
Now, is this stuff that you come up on your own, hanging out with your friends, talking back and forth?
No, usually it's just me. Well, sometimes it is, but it's usually just ideas I get, and I just know that you can't do a lot of stuff justice on paper. I mean, there are a lot of great, hilarious movies that, if another director had done them, wouldn't be funny at all with all the same jokes. It's all just, you know, style and interpretation.
So once you did, you got Nintendo Old School Revolution, and then Batman's gonna get shot in the face. Is that the one right after that? That's hard to say.
The title still makes me laugh. Yeah, we actually did a little blow pop cartoon in between there that got like a few million views.
Okay, I got that down.
It's like a minute long.
I haven't seen it. Tootsie Blow Pop.
Yeah, Tootsie Blow Pop. Yeah, it's just one just something Aaron and I came up with on the way to work one day, and I think Jake animated it in like a few days.
Okay, I haven't seen that. That's on YouTube. I'll check that out.
Oh, it's everywhere. Yeah, YouTube.
Okay.
I'm always hesitant to say YouTube because ever. You know what I mean? I'm always like, yeah, YouTube, because it's just so generic. It's like, you just, like I've said before in interviews, you're just as likely to find some kid, singing a Bon Jovi song and.
That's
it was
true.
on camera is to find something good. It sucks.
Well, if you put in like Longstreth, Tootsie Blow Pop, I'm sure it will come up.
Yeah, I just put in Larry Longstreth. Everything. You'll
There you
see
go.
everything all the way up and down.
There you go. And then
We have old sketches on like little home video cameras from like 2003 to film, and then high digital. It's pretty crazy.
all your old little
Pretty
films
crazy
and
the
stuff.
range now. What's that?
All your old little films and stuff that you were talking about.
Yeah, we have a bunch of our own little sketches and stuff. I mean, some of it still, I still crack up at. I always still get emails about them all the time.
I'll have to check those out.
Pretty wild, man. I mean, it's crazy. Like, it's just cool. I'm loving what's going on. I just, like I said, I'm trying to get past the. Like I used to talk to a lot of guys. I don't want to say kids, but young guys who made fan films all the time, and I would talk to all of them and watch their stuff. And I mean, I'm not being mean. I just thought some of it was really bad, and that's no knock on them because I've made plenty of really bad stuff.
Right.
But I just didn't like the mentality. Like, I'm not real popular with a lot of them. I'll just be. I just don't like the mentality of like if I want to do something and I want to be good at it. I don't want people to tell me I'm doing a good job when I'm not. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely. You don't want to be humorous.
But it's not about being mean. I never want to be mean. It's not about being cruel. It's just, tough love, I think, is what people need. And you just don't see it a lot with a lot of the guys who are doing that. So it's something that I just decided that I was going to get past and move on to something else.
I don't.
It wasn't going to be cool just because Batman was in it, but would actually be, judged on its own merits.
The stuff I post on the bin, it's stuff that I like. I don't post every single thing. And kind of like hand in hand with what you're saying, I just post the good stuff, basically. Either stuff that might not necessarily be the best photo or videographed or filmed, I should say. Might not be the best acting, but it might be like I put up a Tetris fan film. How many people make a freaking Tetris fan film?
Right. You can still see, something that might not look or
Something
sound
unique,
the best, but you can
right.
still see when there's a little edge. Like, that's one thing I always look at, like our old stuff, and I can still see that it was going to go somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's hard to explain. Like, I'll watch stuff, and I'll be like, man, that lighting just sucked, or man, we didn't know what we were doing there. But you could still it was still entertaining people. So, yeah, there's definitely stuff out there where you see some 16-year-old kid doing something, and you're like, when he's 30, he might have it. Which, that's a lot. I think that's something a lot of people don't pay attention to, is they judge so literally on like videos like that. If you watch any of our things, even our new stuff now that'll be premiering on the 13th, if people judge, like if people watch it, that doesn't represent what we're capable of. That represents what we were capable of when we shot it. So it's like everything you ever do that comes out, you learn from.
Yeah, right.
So by the time other people are watching it, you already know better. You know what you would do differently.
Right, absolutely.
It's pretty cool. You're always learning.
Unless you're George Lucas, and then you...
And you're going back.
Yeah, exactly.
And everything you watch was how good you were. I like Star Wars and stuff, but I think he's kind of overrated too. I watch American Graffiti, and like to me, a lot of his stuff really sucked.
Yeah.
Even Willow, which I like, was just Star Wars over again.
Yeah, basically, I love Willow. Yeah, same formula.
Yeah, same three characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the ball was dropped there. I was kind of disappointed in the new Indiana Jones too, because I'm the biggest Indiana Jones nut.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun to see all those characters back together again. But yeah, the magic wasn't there. The magic
I definitely don't hate it. I definitely don't like Temple of Doom at all, but I like Crystal Skull a lot better than Temple of Doom.
Love Temple of Doom. You wound me,
What's
sir.
that? Oh, sorry.
You wound me deeply.
I loved it when I was a kid. I remember my mom used to always tell me it was awful, and she loved Raiders and stuff like that. And we're like, what? She's nuts. And I watched it a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh my God.
No.
Like, I didn't know there were so many one-liners and ridiculous things. And,
Come on, short round, beating the big guys up? That could happen.
like the movie Three Ninjas.
I haven't seen that one.
You know, remember Three Ninjas where all the kids are like beating up the big guys?
No, never saw that one.
So how old are you, man?
What's that?
How old are you?
How old am I?
You're talking about the generation difference.
Oh, yeah, I'm 38. I'm an old fart.
Oh, you got 10 years or so on me, man.
Yeah. So, G.I. Joe, Transformers. What do you think about the new movie that's coming out? There's going to be a travesty?
Isn't somebody really crappy doing it?
Yeah. Plus the costumes don't look too good.
Who's doing it?
I can tell you in just a second or so.
It's somebody really crappy, I remember. Like Michael Bay or something.
Now, Michael Bay actually did the Transformers.
Which, Shia LaBeouf and...
Yeah, that kid.
I don't mind him. I think he's got the expression down. I think he should back off for a little while, because people will hate anybody they see too much.
Yeah.
If he backs off, he'll be golden. Let me see. I'm actually packing right now. I'm going out of town here.
Oh, okay. Stephen Sommers.
Who is it?
Stephen Sommers? He did, The Scorpion King 2. Oh, and actually, he wrote The Scorpion King 2. The Mummy, the new Mummy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Van Helsing.
Van Helsing, is that what you said?
Yeah, he wrote that.
Sucks.
Well, he wrote the first two Mummies. Those were pretty good.
I like the first one.
Yeah.
The second one's okay. I mean, summer popcorn movie.
Yeah, but Van Helsing was pretty bad.
Dude, I was so mad, and I remember seeing Superman Returns and walking out going, "Hey, man, I thought that was pretty good." It wasn't like an action piece,
Yeah.
but it was still, it was a story. And I remember my uncle saying, "It's stupid because his cape would have caught on fire, and it never caught on fire." I'm like, "What? That's why that movie sucks." What the hell? And then we walk out of Van Helsing. This might have been actually sooner, and he's like, "No, that was a good movie." And I'm like, "Man, what the hell?" Like, it sucked because that's my lesson. There is you are never going to be able to please everybody. Because you will never even understand a lot of people's point of view.
Oh, absolutely not. You should know that by making fan films.
Oh, yeah, I know it. It's still always depressing. It's always like, are you kidding? Are you really? The worst thing are the people who tell you, like, hands down, like they know better than you do, and you're just wrong that movie sucks. And it's like this masterpiece. It's just like, man, the people who are kind of condescending and seem like they're further off than anybody are kind of funny.
And they've never produced anything in their life.
Right.
Except like a bowel movement.
Which is like a big argument, If you've never made anything, how can you say anything? But I don't feel that way exactly. I feel like, people who make things to be out there should take whatever they get, man. If you're going to be an entertainer, you've got to be able to take whatever people say. That's part of
that's
what we
true.
do, What's that?
I said that's true, but when you make blanket statements saying it should have been this way or that way, well, go for it.
Oh yeah,
go do it.
That's not criticizing at all.
Go do it. See how you're going to do it. Let's see how you're going to make it.
Right.
I don't know. It's just my platform. If I don't like something, I don't bitch and moan about it. I just,
Yeah, I definitely altered how I respond to things because I remember like. I can just imagine if Ben Affleck would have heard me talking, how bad,
Daredevil?
I would hurt so many feelings before I started getting into what I'm doing. Because, you speak like you know everything, and you just, this guy sucks, or this guy's that, or this guy's, and it's like, that's, once I start, I start knowing famous people, it's different.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore.
Oh, good. You're grown up.
Everyone's pretty, huh?
Larry's grown up.
Yeah, I just mean, every kid, is just so hard, just so heartless when they talk about something that they don't realize that that's actually a real person.
So let's get into, you said you were packing. What are you taking off tomorrow?
Yeah, I actually do part-time construction work. I'm only going to go for 3 days here. I'm actually doing a floor at, where are you at? Where do you live?
I'm in Rochester, New York, so that's Western New York.
Oh, that's right, you're New York. Yeah, no, actually I'm going down to West Virginia, Wheeling. It's a casino.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm actually doing a floor in a casino right up next to the dog tracks.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty weird.
Do you go down there and do a little gambling while you're on your off hours?
No, I don't do that stuff.
Not into that?
I'm too much of a goodie.
Just play.
I'll put a couple bucks in the machine, but as soon as I see them not come back, I'm done. I don't put any more in.
No showgirls for you, huh?
No, I'm not like that. I'm a geek, man.
Good boy. Good boy, Larry.
Yeah, I know. I'm such a good... I'm either the biggest prick in the world or the biggest great issues. I go back and forth.
What will I be today? Let's flip a coin.
So we have... Jay, actually, I just finished editing Wolf, our live-action short, like 2 days ago, like completely done.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I know nothing about it.
It's a werewolf short starring Lloyd Kaufman, the trauma guy, and I mean it's live action. It's not really a fan film, but it's definitely a geeky film that a lot of people are going to like a lot, and some people will rip us apart for. But that's how it goes. But anyway, I was saying that's actually finished being edited and put together. Now it's just everything's done. All the clips for the premiere, everything's done except for fan film, which I will edit Tuesday. It looks like.
Now, didn't Paul Molnar there? Didn't he do the makeup or something like that? Did I read?
Yeah, he did the Narnia film. Yeah, he actually did like Patient J. He was the Joker.
Right.
You know that. I believe he worked on both Narnia films as a makeup guy, and he did our werewolf. He saved our production actually because we lost the guy who was originally doing the first werewolf. It just kept becoming sketchy, and it seemed like he wasn't going to come through. He was not returning calls and stuff, and the deadline's getting closer. So I called Paul last minute, who's in New York. I'm like, dude, if I can have this much time, I think it was like 2-3 months, can you make a werewolf? And he's like, yeah, this is how much it'll cost. And we drove out there in my aunt's van on three bad tires and one that went flat while we were driving, and picked him up the werewolf because it wouldn't fit on a plane, and brought him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely saved our asses.
Sweet.
I mean, jumping in a van with people he'd never met before to help us.
Is that gonna? Yeah, I've heard he's a real nice guy. I mean,
Real cool guy.
Fanboy Will's. If he was here, he could tell you, but he's met him. He met him once and said what a nice guy he was.
Yeah, he's cool.
Is that going to be online as well?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool. How'd you hook up with like Paul and like Aaron Shanky and?
I'm not even sure, man. I think I think about that all the time because I talk to Aaron and Paul pretty regularly now. I'm not even sure how we met. Probably, I had imagined just either Batman's going to get shot in the face or Patient J, or I think Paul loved Batman's going to get shot in the face. So he might have put us in touch. I don't remember because I remember knowing who they were, and I have no idea when we started talking.
Just emailing back and forth, and then it escalated from there.
I think that must have been it. I remember that. I remember Paul. I know Paul has talked up our Batman cartoon a lot to a lot of people. And the thing is, a lot of fan filmmakers. I know Aaron. Maybe not Aaron, but I know a lot of them really didn't like it because it made fun of Batman.
Well, anyways, Cave looks great. Give Alfred my best, and maybe next time.
It's called a utility bill, you prick.
Did you say something?
No, why did you?
No. What?
What?
So, okay. So you're gonna say everything I'm gonna say, right?
Yeah, you're gonna say everything I'm gonna say.
Come on, Bruce. We didn't have enough time to wait for you, man. Their lives were in danger.
Come on, Bruce. Oh, Bruce, lives are in danger.
All right, you know what, Bruce? You know what? I don't have time for this. All right,
Bruce,
I give up.
Please.
Okay, you
I
win.
give up. Oh, okay. You give up then. All right. Big man of steel. All right. More like the man of rubber, or something softer like cotton or something. Yeah, I win. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's a parody.
A lot of people have no sense of humor regarding that. I might be wrong about it being Aaron, but I remember a lot of filmmakers were like, I'm like, yeah, have you seen it? And they're like, yeah, I saw part of it. And I'm just like, okay, all right, I get it.
That's
Because
people.
Superman's not getting beat up. No one wants to see it.
It's people that are really into the dark angst of their character, the Batman.
Man, we ripped that down, man. I just got some scenes in fan film. It's hilarious. And I just got some scenes that I forgot I'd written. Like Jake just sent them. He's like, here, these are done. And I watched them when I was dying. We definitely ripped on the whole. Fanboys always want that cigar smoking guy clinging to the shadows and saying silly one-liners.
Yeah.
And like I used to think that was so cool when I was a kid, and now that I'm older and I work with teams and groups, and I realize how fast I would kick Wolverine out of my team if I had a team. It's just not cool. It's just really kind of melodramatic and annoying.
Yeah.
It's really emo. It's kind of if you think about it, a guy always acting like an anti-hero is kind of the girliest guy there is.
Hello, I'm Danny Anchor, and welcome to Emo Watch. We've had a lot of requests to explain exactly what emo is. Emo is short for emotional or emotive or something, and is an emerging social tribe. As you can see from this graph, emo is a subdivision of the species goth, which itself is a subdivision of the genus punk, and is quite literally the hottest little fashion on the streets. As we can see from this graph, by 2015, over 45% of the world's population will be emo. By 2020, a shocking 87%, and by 2025, it'll probably have blown over.
I don't know. It makes me laugh. I mean, we definitely played on that in the greatest fan film.
Self-indulged.
Definitely covered that really good. I'm excited because I saw a couple scenes that just killed me. Like Wolverine, it's Stanley's birthday in the cartoon.
Right.
And Wolverine keeps trying to blow out his candles because he's always trying to steal the show throughout the cartoon. Because they say he hogged all 3 X-Men movies and he won't let the X-Men even take a picture. Like he's jumping in pictures, he's trying to blow out the candles.
Yeah, that was in the
Everyone's
preview.
Like, Wolverine, please. You know what I mean? Like Hugh Jackman and everything. So there's this one shot. I just saw it kills me. I guess I'm giving it away. Where Stan Lee goes, okay, Logan, all right. And he puts his arm around him. He walks him away from the cake. And he goes, why don't you just go over there and stand with Frank Miller and his boys for a little bit? And it cuts across the party to this black and white, dark, dirty alleyway like you'd see in Sin City. And like every Frank Miller character is standing there in the shadows, and it's raining, and there are rats in the street. And it's just so dark and gritty. It's hilarious.
That's Frank Miller, yeah.
And they're all talking. They're all going, hey, how you doing? Like they're all talking real dark and gritty. It's funny.
You're talking schmack.
Yeah. I mean, I love that stuff, too. I just don't think that it should always be, held on a pedestal just because it's dark.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely love that. I love Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
Yeah, Watchmen and Kingdom Come.
Yeah, Watchmen's going to be... I can't wait for
Yeah, I
that
think
freaking movie.
great, man.
That's going to clock in like at 2 hours and 40 minutes or something like that. It's going to be a long one.
Yeah, it's too bad. I think that would actually have the potential to be huge. I think it does have the potential to be huge, like blockbuster-wise.
Yep.
But I can imagine, like, as a two-part film. Like, Dark Knight wouldn't have been what it was if Batman Begins hadn't created such a good buzz. And I hate to say the Ledger death thing, but, you know, like, sometimes a first movie helps a second movie really hit its stride, you know, if you really did a good job and created a good buzz.
Depending, I guess.
Watchmen is definitely deserving of that attention, but I don't think it'll get it.
Not like, you know, Fantastic Four. That's not the case, but, you know,
brutal.
Like your Star Wars.
Right. I don't know why they do that stuff. I mean, you don't have to half-ass it. You don't have to get a...
I don't know.
Oh, I guess it makes money, so who cares? That's the way they look at it. I know it's depressing, but, I mean, I'm learning more and talking to more people, and it definitely gets depressing. Talking to some people. It's not about artistic integrity or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. It's about how many... It's a business. It's how many people, how much demographics you can get to the box office, I guess.
Yeah, they don't care what the 25-year-old guy thinks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a big part of their ticket sales, so I should say They do care. They don't care what he thinks. They don't care what the frat boy thinks because the frat boy doesn't care. He's going there to see Fantastic Four or the little kid with his family. And, you know, that's just the way it works, man. It's not...
Yeah, it's a business. That's their job.
Yeah, I always think, though, I mean, I remember being a kid. Now, you were probably like a young adult. Remember Never-Ending Story and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Now, that was good. It was a good kid movie, but it was also dark and adult and intelligent.
Yep.
Now, I don't understand why movies can't always try for both, because that's the... Now, I can watch it as an adult now and still like it.
Yep.
Like, I don't imagine any, 6-year-old who thought Fantastic Four was awesome watching it when they're 25 and going, yep, still love it. You know what I mean? Not a chance.
I know a lot of filmmakers that I talk to, the movie makers or the producers or whatnot are looking for youth. They're looking for young writers, so maybe that's I don't know if it was different back in the 80s. I can't make a comparison off the top of my head, but they're looking for the younger writers these days. So maybe that's why it's not as sophisticated to, attract to both audiences. Maybe they're just too young to, attract the older demographic. I don't know. If I'm just blowing smoke out of my ass, or
no, I know.
It's possible.
I mean, I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that they're right in thinking. I think kids are a lot smarter than people think they are.
No, absolutely.
I can remember seeing a lot of stuff that was geared toward kids that I thought was really cheesy and stupid. Even as a little kid, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, okay, this is not interesting at all.
The Super
I remember
Friends.
thinking The Witch. Do you remember Legend?
Yep.
My buddy and I talk about it all the time. I'm like, 7, 8 years old, and I think that The Witch and Legend is the coolest thing I'd ever seen.
That was a cool movie, and still holds up today, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's like, now if they made that and said, hey, kids watch this, they'd go, oh, no, kids can't watch that. Yeah. Yes, they can. I'm not serial killing or raping anybody right now. Like, it's not going to mess the kids up to see something like that. Kids aren't as stupid as we think.
Shit, I was watching Porky's when I was freaking 13. I think I can...
Yeah, I remember. That was a little before my time. I just remember it. I remember seeing it on my stepdad's video shelf. Porky's. It cracks me up.
Can you imagine what the Board of Education would say if you were granted a lineup in order to examine their private their private parts for an incriminating mole?
Mr. Carter, I think I have a way out of this. We call the police, and we have them send over one of their sketch artists. And this ball breaker can give a description. We can put up wanted posters all over school. Have you seen this prank? Report immediately to view the ball breaker. Do not attempt to apprehend this prick, as it is armed and dangerous.
How do you get the animation together? Does he use a tablet, and is it all Flash animation for the films?
Yeah. He actually had taken some Flash courses before we met, and, I mean, you can still see it's pretty rough with Nintendo, and it kind of gets a little better, and now, I mean, it's amazing. Like, he's got, the camera spinning around people and flying all through battlefields. I don't know how he's doing it on Flash, but yeah, it's all Flash, and then I'll put it through Adobe Premiere, maybe Final Cut. We haven't decided yet. But as far as the animation goes, it's all Flash, and that to me is crazy. Because, because especially when you see it. I mean, he's doing like these epic battles with 20 guys on the screen at one time, and Cyclops blasting somebody from this side of the screen while Superman swoops by and does it. It's insane. I don't know how. All on the guy's old PC.
Yeah, I've only seen a little bits and pieces, obviously, from the trailer, so can't wait to see the. So that's going to premiere online the 13th as well, or that comes afterwards?
Yes, sir. It'll be online. Actually, DailyMotion.com wants the exclusive.
Okay.
So we'll probably give it to them. Dailymotion will have it. I imagine. I think I'm going to call somebody. I'll be at the premiere at about 8. I think I'm going to call somebody and say, all right, put it online now at about 8:30 p.m.
And then some fanboy's going to, grab the Flash file and quickly upload it to every other freaking video service.
But I can't be mad because they're characters that I don't own, and,
right.
I'm doing what I want with them. So that I never complain. People are always like, aren't you mad somebody was showing your Blow Pop cartoon on E-Bomb? I'm like, no, man, I don't care. That's what I made it for, is to have people see it,
You've got we were talking about the voices. You've got Aaron Schenke's doing, the Scarecrow.
Scarecrow. He actually did a couple other voices, but I don't think they're going to make the cut. It's
okay.
not anything he did. It was stuff we thought we might use and we might not.
Did you do typical, typically, you record the voices and do the animation? Is that...
No, it doesn't work like that with us, because we've got voice work filmed. We've got voice work recorded from like 7 states and part of Canada, dude. So basically, we take it when we can get it, and we animate when we can.
So, but you grab it first, right?
What's that?
Do you grab the voice and then animate it, or do you animate it and then have someone do the voice? Or
we'll get it, but there are a few times when Jake will animate a scene, and the mouth is just not there.
Okay, that's kind of what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, but he doesn't do it very often. He doesn't like to do that, I don't think. But sometimes we have to. We've got some big names. We have a WWF guy, Stevie Richards. We have, like I said, Paul Molnar, Aaron Schenke. Is that how you say it?
I always mess it up. I think it's
Harley.
Shanky.
It's Shanky. I never knew how to say it.
Yikes! I'll have to go back to the podcast when we
interview. And the Our Lady Peace lead singer, Rain Maida.
Okay, right. I read that. Yeah.
I actually talked to. He didn't do it. I asked him. He wanted to do it, but I didn't want to fly him out. Do you remember an old WWF wrestler named Marty Jannetty?
No, I do not.
He was part of the Rockers with Shawn Michaels.
No, don't remember.
Anyway, Shawn Michaels wanted to become this big world champ, and Jannetty was his partner. And I had talked to him about it. He wanted to do it, and I was like, I can't afford this anymore, man. It was already killing me. But we also had
that was more the Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan, and I grew up with all that.
That's when he wrestled. Yeah, they were the.
Oh, really? Okay, I don't remember them then.
They were 2 young guys. I'm not expecting you to remember. 2 young guys that always wore like these bright pants, and they both had long hair, and they were these young, good-looking guys. They'd fly all over the place.
Did you think of getting Stan Lee, or was that like impossible?
I thought about it. I just didn't care.
No.
Because I think it's funnier to do an impersonation voice that sounds like him, and that's what we got. And it's more of a cartoonish. Because I actually know a guy who's working. He's the line producer on the Who Wants to Be a Superhero, and I really thought about it for a second. And I'm like, who cares? I think that's what it's called. Who Wants to Be a Superhero?
Should have got. Too bad you didn't hook up with Fanboy Will. He does a
Stan Lee's voice.
Yeah.
Stan Lee does a funny Stan Lee. He's got to be old too. One thing I worried about was like this kind of revolves around Stan Lee a lot. This thing, and I was like, man, I hope the guy. That sounds horrible. I'm like, I hope something doesn't happen to this dude while we're doing this, because he's like I think he's like in 80s or maybe 90 or something. I mean, he's older than people think.
Well, I'll tell you in just a second. Yeah, he was old when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
He was born in 1922. So what's that? That's 80.
That makes him
86.
Holy cow, 86.
He'll be 86 on December 28th. A little trivia.
Right. What is it?
December 28th.
Oh my!
So it
God.
really will be his birthday. You missed.
Takes place on his birthday.
Yeah, you missed the premiere. You should have bumped it up. Too bad.
I am sure. Yeah, right. I'm not bumping it back anymore. It's been bumped back a year already.
No, I'm just kidding.
Not a chance. Yeah, I don't know. I might.
Can still do something with
that.
that.
Rob and see if he'll show Stan Lee. I'm sure he'll show him.
Yeah, that would be cool. Especially give it to him as a birthday present. Plus, it's about his birthday, right?
I'm sure he'd crack up. Yeah, we definitely put little nods in the film. Like he's always hanging out with in the cartoon. He's always surrounded by the Fantastic Four or Spider-Man or one of his own creations. They're always mobbed around him while he's talking. He's
like the Hugh Hefner of the Marvel Universe, except half has chicks around him, and poor Stan just has superheroes.
Freaks.
Yeah.
And mutants.
Hey, I got screwed.
Yeah. I actually saw there's actually a little clip where he gets cake on his face and Invisible Girl wipes it off, and I was watching it yesterday. I'm like, man, he actually looks like Hugh Hefner with just this blonde chick. I got to get rolling.
No.
Thanks. I'll be in touch. I mean, it's crazy right now, but as soon as, I'll send you a reminder in case you don't when it's online. No, thanks for letting us do it, man. I was happy to do it. Yeah, cool, man.
All right, sir.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.